Okay, so let's try to look at the problem. Andrew, two problems you asked me, question 7 and question 8. Problem 7, it doesn't have video. I looked at the problem 7, it doesn't have video, so I'm going to explain you problem 7. For the problem 8, the exact same video, helps you to solve it. So try to watch it one more time, and if you don't understand it, then you can just email me one more time and I will make another video for you. For now, it's a problem 7. This is problem 7. Outside temperature over a day can be modeled as a sinusoidal function. Suppose you know the temperature varies between 32 and 58 degrees during the day, and then average daily temperature first occurs at 8 a.m. How many hours after midnight to 2 decimal places does the temperature first reach 42 degrees? There are some of the information you have to extract from this question. 32, 58, 8 a.m. average, and find out the time when the temperature is 42 degrees. There are two different kind of sinusoidal function, sine and cosine, and there are 4 different notation we are using: A, B, C, D, and these are the meanings of ABCD. To find out the value of A, you need to find out the amplitude, find out the B. If you know the period, you can find the B. And by looking the vertical, transformation or translation, you can find C. Horizontal translation means T. This problem has minimum temperature 32, maximum 58, so average is 45. Now if you go back to the problem, you can see that the average daily temperature first occurs at 8 a.m. So when time is 8, the temperature is 45. So given at 8 a.m. temperature is 45, so this is one of the point. So if I plot this information here, I'm assuming x-axis is the time and then y-axis is the temperature. And here you can see that on the x-axis the difference is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and keep going. On the y-axis 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and keep going. If I do that, these are the points I already plotted, but I'm going to explain you how. The average temperature would be at 8 a.m. So 8:45 is already here. And we know that the minimum temperature and maximum temperature, that is 32 and 58. So always you can see, the period of this kind of function is 24 hours because this is for a day. So the difference between the time difference between minimum temperature and maximum temperature, it should be 12 hours because of the period is 24 hours. So the average is at 8. So average means it should be in the middle of those minimum and maximum value. So if you see the minimum and maximum, they occur at 12 hours difference. So half of 12 is 6. So from average point, if you go to the left 6 hours or right 6 hours, you will get minimum or maximum. So if I go to the left 6 hours, I can see that at 2 a.m. the temperature would be 32, which is the minimum. And if I go to the right, which is right means as time increases, and the maximum will occur after 6 hours because at 8 a.m. you have the average temperature. So this is the thing you have to understand. Because of the period 24 hours, the difference between for the minimum temperature and maximum temperature would be 12 hours, and the time difference between minimum to average would be 6 hours. Similarly, from average to maximum would be 6 hours. That's why I get this at 2 a.m. the temperature is minimum, at 14 p.m., which is actually 2 p.m., the temperature is maximum. And since we know that this is the period for this kind of function is 24 hours, it's a 24 hours period. So from the minimum at 2 a.m., which is 32 degree, it will repeat after 24 hours, which is 26 for the time, because 2 plus 24 is 26. Okay, so at 26 the temperature will be the minimum. Okay, that's how I got these points: 232, 845, 1458, 2632. Instead of just using from 0 to 24, we are keep going. Okay, but we know that this is a periodic function, so it will repeat after every single 24 hours, and that is the model. So by looking this model, I would pick you can use any one, but I would use the second one, the cosine function, as a sinusoidal function. And if I try to compare the graph of cosine function and this graph, if you know the graph of cosine function and this graph, this is the graph of cosine function, and you can see that this is just a flip of this given graph for one period. So the amplitude is a difference from average. The amplitude is actually it's a distance between this average line to up or down, how much you can go from the average. So the difference is it's actually 58 minus 45. That's why the amplitude would be 13. So it will go 13 unit up and 13 unit down from this average value. Since the graph of cosine function would look like this, which is actually the reflection of this graph. So the value of a, if I have to use this cosine function, or if you use the sine function, you have to think it a little bit differently. Then the value of a, you can see that the absolute value of a is 13. It means a could be positive 13 or negative 13. Since this graph is a reflection of this graph, so we have to take a is negative 13. Okay, that's how we got a equal negative 13. And now the period of this function is if you go back to this formula, the period is 2 pi over b. I just plug period is 24, and then I would solve for b, which gives me b equal 2 pi over 24. 2 pi over 24, and if I simplify it, it will be pi over 12. And you can see that the very first point for this cosine function would be at 0. And now for this graph, the very first point which occurs at 2. So it's a horizontal 2 unit shift to the right. So if it's a horizontal shift to the right, then you have to subtract. So that's why the value of C would be 2 here. And the value of D is, like here you can see this graph has the average value is this one, which is x-axis. Now you are shifting it to the average 45. If you go back here, you can see that this average is going to the 45. So you're shifting this graph 45 unit up. So that means this value of D, which is the vertical shift, would be 45. So now by using these four values A, B, C, D, our function would be y equal negative 13 cosine pi over 12 x minus 2 plus 45. Now this is the value we have given. Now we have to solve for the given problem. So let me just solve it. Now let me just add one more page. So y equal, so we have given temperature. So here y is temperature, which is given 42 degree, and x is time, and we need to find the time. So just plug the value. We already have value of a, b, c, d here. Just try to plug the value of y here and solve for x, and it would be 42 equal negative 13 cosine pi over 12 x minus 2 plus 45. If you try to simplify this and solve for x, this is what you get. 42 minus 45 equal negative 13 cosine pi over 12 x minus 2. So this is actually negative 3. And if you divide both sides by negative 13, this is the equation you get. So don't forget that we are planning to solve for x, so we have to take the cosine inverse both sides, and there is a pi over 12 x minus 2. If you try to solve for x, this is what you get. X equal 12 over pi cosine inverse 3 over 13 plus 2. If you use your calculator, I'm going to use the calculator. The value of x, I'm going to get it 7.11. Let me see my calculator. 7 point. No, I have to use the. Okay, it's a 7.1105098080 and keep going. But in this particular problem, we want to know the answer in two decimal places. So this is approximation value. So the answer in two decimal places is 7.11. The meaning is after 7.11 hour, the temperature would be 42 degree. So if you go back here to the graph here, you can see that at 8 a.m. the temperature is 45. So from the midnight after 7 hours, which is 7 point some hours here, you can see that at this point the temperature would be 42 degree. So the answer for this particular problem is 7.11. I hope uh, it will be helpful. If you have any further questions, if you don't get it, just feel free to email me back.